What if reversing muscle loss after 60 was as simple as adding the right fish to your plate? Most seniors are told to just accept weakness, or worse, spend a fortune on powders and pills. But the truth? Certain fish are packed with nutrients that naturally fight sarcopenia and rebuild muscle fast. Backed by science, ignored by the industry. Stay with me. Number 4 may surprise you. Dr. Shigeaki Hinohara, a Japanese doctor who lived to 105 and still saw patients into his late 90s, once said, "We must treat aging not as a disease, but as a process to be understood and nourished." The solution is often not in a pharmacy, but on the plate. And that's what this video is about. Understanding, nourishing, returning to what works. Because aging well isn't about chasing youth. It's about choosing the right kind of strength. A strength that comes not from more effort, but from better fuel. Dr. Peter Attia, one of the most respected voices in longevity today, calls muscle the organ of longevity. He reminds us that most people, especially after 60, are unknowingly underfeeding their muscles. Not just in calories, but in the kind of nutrients that preserve motion, protect against falls, and keep us living independently. Fish does more than fill you up. It speaks to your body in a language it remembers. A language of whole proteins, essential fats, minerals that soothe inflammation, and cofactors that ignite repair. So today, we're not going to talk about theory. We're going to show you. We'll walk through 5 specific types of fish, available, affordable, and often overlooked, that help fight sarcopenia, rebuild functional strength, and nourish joints and muscles in a way that no powder can match. We'll see how real people have made simple changes with powerful results. We'll explore not just what to eat, but why it matters, and how to make it part of your rhythm, even if cooking feels hard or energy is low. This is not about becoming someone new. This is about remembering what your body still understands. It's about feeding the parts of you that want to stay strong, to keep walking, to keep living fully, even when others say it's too late. It's not too late. You are not too late. The ocean has been feeding the strength of long-lived cultures for centuries. Today that wisdom is yours again. Let's begin. There's a quiet misunderstanding that has kept many older adults from one of the simplest and most powerful sources of healing. It begins with a memory, perhaps of overcooked fish in a hospital tray, or of a time when doctors warned us against cholesterol. Maybe it's the smell or the feeling that fish is complicated, messy, or not filling enough. Whatever the reason, many have gently closed the door on fish. And in doing so, without even realizing it, they've turned away from one of the body's oldest allies in preserving strength. Over the years, we've been told to fear fat, to fear salt, to fear foods that have long been part of traditional diets in places where people age on their feet, not in their chairs. Sardines, mackerel, anchovies, the humble, oily fish of the past, were pushed aside in favor of deli meats, sausages, or flavorless protein shakes. But here's what the science now confirms. Oily fish like mackerel and sardines are among the richest sources of omega-3 fatty acids, which do far more than protect the heart. They preserve muscle. They soothe the small fires of inflammation that burn inside aging tissues, weakening our strength day by day. Omega-3s aren't just good fats. They are messengers. They tell the body, it's time to heal. And here's the part that surprises many. Fish, especially those rich in fat and minerals, builds more real-world strength than many of the processed protein bars and powders that flood the market. Why? Because fish is complete. It's not just protein. It comes with the exact cofactors your muscles need to absorb that protein, turn it into repair, and hold it in place. It digests more easily. It's lighter on the stomach. It works with the body, not against it. While supplements may offer numbers on a label, fish offers results you can feel. Less stiffness in the morning, a steadier step when rising, fewer aches after walking. There's a man I think of often, 67 years old, widowed, living quietly after a long life of hard work. He didn't like to cook. Most days he reached for sandwiches or processed meats. He didn't complain, but he did notice how his knees ached more each winter and how getting out of bed started taking longer. One day, at the suggestion of an old friend, he began replacing just 2 of his weekly lunches with grilled sardines on toast. Not fancy, not expensive, just simple food, prepared gently. After 6 weeks, he found himself getting up more easily. His knees didn't creak so much. There was a quiet strength returning. It didn't come from effort. It came from nourishment. That's the shift we're talking about. Not a diet, not a new product, a return to what works. Fish is not a flavor. It's fuel. It's not about liking or disliking the taste. It's about choosing something that your muscles recognize, something that comes not from a factory, but from the earth, or in this case, the sea. Something that carried fishermen through storms, that sustained elders in Mediterranean villages and Japanese islands well into their 90s. Something that has fed strength through generations. If fish has been missing from your plate, it's not a failure. It's a story you were told. But stories can change. Hand healing can begin with just one new page. Let's turn it together. The sea has always offered more than food. It offers memory, resilience, and quiet strength. In villages along the coast of Sicily or the shores of Okinawa, elders don't ask how much protein they've eaten. They simply eat what the sea provides, and their muscles carry them through long walks, quiet gardening, or playing with grandchildren on soft earth. The fish they eat are not expensive or rare. They are simple, powerful, and often overlooked. And science now confirms what these elders have known by instinct. These fishes don't just feed the body, they protect it from decay. Let's begin with salmon, known for its color, but praised for its content. This fish is rich in protein, of course, but it offers something more. Vitamin D, essential for bone and muscle strength, and astaxanthin, a powerful antioxidant that supports mitochondrial health, the little engines in your cells that produce energy. As we age, those engines slow. Salmon helps restart them. It nourishes from the inside out, and perhaps most importantly, it's satisfying, leaving you full without heaviness, strong without effort. Then there are sardines, modest, small, inexpensive, but inside each one lies a treasure of nutrients, not just omega-3s, but calcium, vitamin B12, and even vitamin D. Because they're eaten whole, bones and all, sardines become both food and supplement, offering the minerals your muscles and joints crave. Some call them the bone and muscle protectors of the sea. They come canned, preserved, ready to eat. A quiet blessing for those who live alone or don't want to cook. Next is mackerel. Often passed over in markets, but deeply respected in traditional diets. Mackerel is high in protein and rich in coenzyme Q10, which supports energy production in cells and reduces the chronic inflammation that wears away its strength. Mackerel is not delicate. It is hearty, dense, sustaining. Its fats are healing. Its texture is filling. For those who grew up eating it, the scent alone brings memories of strength at the table, of fathers, mothers, grandparents who aged without fear. Now we come to trout. Often found in local lakes or in smaller fisheries, trout is gentle on the system, lean, low in mercury, and easy to digest. For older adults with sensitive digestion, trout offers a balance, plenty of protein, without the density that can feel heavy or hard to process. It cooks quickly, requires little seasoning, and feels light in the belly, ideal for those who want nourishment without discomfort. And finally, the often forgotten anchovy, tiny, salty, and full of life. Anchovies are potent. Just a few added to a soup or salad bring not only flavor but selenium, magnesium, and trace minerals that support nerve and muscle function. They're not meant to be eaten in large quantities. Their strength lies in their concentration. They carry the sea in every bite, and for the muscles they carry a signal: recover, rebuild, resist decline. These 5 fishes, salmon, sardines, mackerel, trout, and anchovies, are not trends. They are time-tested. They are accessible. They are gentle enough for fragile stomachs, strong enough for aging bones, and wise enough to offer more than just fuel. They carry the memory of oceans and the resilience of the people who've always lived close to them. They don't ask for much, just a place on your plate, and in return they offer you something many have forgotten to promise, not just more years, but more strength in the years you already have. There is something the supplement industry rarely says out loud. As the years go by, the body changes in ways that no powder can fully fix. The stomach produces less acid. The intestines absorb nutrients more slowly. Digestion becomes more delicate. And yet, many products on the shelves continue to assume we are the same as we were at 30. They isolate protein into scoops and shakes, strip away the natural cofactors, and call it nourishment. But the truth is quieter. It lives in how the body feels after a meal, not in the numbers on a label. Fish holds an advantage that's rarely advertised, but deeply felt. As we age, digestion becomes a gatekeeper, and fish, particularly when prepared gently, moves through that gate with ease. It's soft, it's moist, it doesn't require the same digestive effort as powders, pills, or heavy meats. For someone over 60, this makes all the difference, because when the body can digest, it can rebuild. That's where healing begins, but digestion is just the beginning. Fish brings with it something powders leave behind: context. Supplements often isolate protein and strip away everything else, but fish arrives whole, with vitamin B12 to support nerve function, iron and zinc to nourish repair, omega-3s to fight inflammation, and minerals that act like keys to muscle activation. It's a complete script, a message your body remembers, and that memory matters, because the older body is not broken, it's just more discerning. It needs nourishment that speaks clearly. There's also the matter of cost, not just in money but in value. Many older adults spend quietly on senior-targeted shakes and formulas, believing they are doing the right thing. But in truth, a piece of fish, canned or fresh, often delivers far more benefits per dollar. It's not flashy. It doesn't come in a silver pouch. But it's real. It's recognizable. And the body knows what to do with it. I think now of a woman I met in her 70s. She had lost hand strength after a long winter indoors. She tried shakes. She tried bars. Nothing changed, until her daughter began bringing over fish once a week, not expensive, just stews made with anchovies and vegetables. Twice a week became a rhythm, a warm bowl, a quiet table. Over time she noticed she could hold her mug more steadily. She could peel an orange again. The difference didn't come from supplements. It came from something older, something real. Powders, someone once said, are fragments. Fish is the full script your muscles know how to read. That image stays with me, because it's not just about strength, it's about communication, between food and body, between memory and movement. When that communication is clear, strength returns, not all at once, not like a commercial promises, but gently, quietly, in the morning when you stand more easily, in the evening when your hands feel steadier, in the smile that comes when you feel, for the first time in a long time, that your body is remembering how to be yours again. There's a quiet hesitation many people carry when it comes to cooking, especially when living alone, or after years of preparing meals for others who are no longer at the table. The idea of adding something new, like fish, can feel like a task too large for tired hands or a quiet kitchen. But nourishing the body doesn't have to come with burden. In fact, the beauty of these muscle-healing fishes is in how little they demand, and how much they offer in return. You don't need skill, you don't need fancy tools. A piece of parchment paper, a drizzle of olive oil, and a small fillet, baked gently in the oven with a pinch of salt and a few slices of garlic, or a can of sardines, opened and placed on warm toast with a squeeze of lemon. Or a simple soup made with miso, greens, and anchovy broth, the kind that steams up the kitchen and fills it with a scent that feels like home. These are not complicated meals. They are small acts of care, made quietly, for the body that has carried you this far. And when to eat. The rhythm of the day matters more than we realize. For older adults, lunch or early dinner is often the golden window. The digestive system is still awake, the metabolism still active, and the body more ready to receive. Fish at these hours isn't just a meal, it's a message, a signal that strength is still being built, even in the calm hours of the afternoon. In Japan, many elders begin their day with fish. Not heavy or greasy, but light and savory. A small grilled fillet with rice, or a bit of broth with seaweed and anchovy. It's not just tradition, it's function. This kind of breakfast supports the brain, stabilizes energy, and keeps the body moving well into the evening. It's a rhythm of nourishment that carries over into how they age, with grace, with agility, with clarity of mind and steadiness of step. But of course we must be mindful of the modern sea. Not all fish is safe and not all packaging is honest. Mercury levels can vary. Some farming practices are not as clean as they should be. Yet we need not fear. Just be gentle in our choices. Look for smaller fish, sardines, anchovies, mackerel, as they tend to carry less mercury. Seek wild-caught or sustainably farmed labels if they are available. But don't let the perfect become the enemy of the good. The goal is not purity. The goal is nourishment. There is a phrase I return to often: every fish is a muscle message. Each bite tells your body something: to repair, to rebuild, to resist decline. And when that message becomes a rhythm, once a week, maybe twice, the body begins to respond. Not with fanfare, not overnight, but in the quiet, powerful way of nature, in the ease of bending down without pain, in the steadiness of standing tall again, in the deep, calm breath that comes when the body feels fed. You don't need to reinvent your kitchen. You don't need to learn new tricks. You just need to let food return to what it always was: care. Simple, sincere care for your body, for your strength, for your life. If you feed the muscle, you delay the chair. There's a moment many won't speak about, but most recognize. When standing from a chair takes a pause, when the arms feel shaky after lifting something light, when a once simple staircase feels like a challenge, it's not always pain. Sometimes it's just hesitation, a quiet sense that the body isn't responding like it used to. This is not simply aging, it's often undernourished muscle. Muscle that once carried you easily, but now waits quietly for the right kind of support. Dr. Shigeaki Hinohara, who lived well past 100, believed that what we feed the body after 60 matters more than ever before. Not more food, but better fuel. And muscle, that silent foundation of movement, has very specific needs. Protein, yes, but not just in numbers. It needs protein the body recognizes, nutrients that don't overwhelm digestion, support that repairs, not just fills. Fish does this in a way few other foods can, not just because it's rich in protein, but because it carries co-nutrients that make that protein useful: omega-3s to calm inflammation, B12 to nourish the nerves, minerals like selenium and magnesium that help restore balance. It's not just food, it's function. Dr. Peter Attia calls muscle the organ of longevity, not because it looks strong, but because it lets us live independently. When we feed it well, we hold on to the ability to lift, reach, walk, and stand. These are not small things. They are the difference between needing help and living freely. You don't need a perfect diet. You don't need 5 meals a day or complicated recipes. You need small, consistent nourishment: a bowl of fish stew, a grilled fillet at lunch, a tin of sardines opened with quiet hands, not for flavor alone, but for strength, for stability, for the part of you that still wants to move easily, sleep deeply, and live without fear of the next fall. Aging doesn't always ask for more effort. Sometimes it simply asks for better care, and often that care begins with what's already on your plate.